Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1 o'clock on Friday, which means I am here on Facebook talking to everybody here. I know the last couple of ones I've been interviewing people, and I intend to continue to do that. But today I'm going solo. I've had a few questions from various people about real estate in general, becoming a realtor, why I became a realtor, how do I go from running a collectible store to becoming a realtor. And I've heard a couple kind of shocking myths about realtors that I kind of want to debunk. So that's what I'm doing. Now, I want to say this up front. I am talking about my journey to become a realtor. I'm not talking about anybody else's journey to become a realtor. I am not saying that my journey is typical or that it's not typical. I'm not advertising for anybody. This is literally just my personal opinion and my journey. In no way are any of these facts, unless they're verifiable facts. I will be putting some links to some things I'm addressing in the comments, so you can follow up with those. I'm also here to answer any questions you might have about real estate, being a realtor, all that other kinds of things. And if I don't happen to have the answer, I'll find it for you. So the first thing you need to understand is that my journey to become a realtor was quite long, long. I started out in the restaurant retail business. I quickly became a manager and then a salary manager, and I've been doing that roughly 25 years. And then my wife and I, Megan, we opened our store, and then let's just say that didn't quite succeed. I've always loved customer service. I always loved taking care of people. I don't know why, but I just always have. The thing that I always thought was lacking was when I took care of somebody in the restaurant or in the retail, it was 5 minutes or so. I've always wanted to have an impact on people. I don't know. I just always wanted to do something that really made me feel good about the way I interacted with people as my job. Now, obviously, I'm not nearly smart enough to become a doctor or a nurse or an attorney or anything like that. And I don't know. I liked interacting with people. Well, I was always told I would make a good salesman. Never really had the courage to do that because being a salesman is very up and down. And I was always worried about making a living. Fortunately, I have an amazing wife who decided that it was time for me to try to do something I've always wanted to do, which was sales. I figured if I'm going to do sales, I might as well do real estate because at least I really do like real estate. I've always been intrigued by it. I've always wanted to know more about it. It was just something I've always liked. So Megan, my wife, was like, okay, so then that's what you're going to do. I was like, well, no, I'll go back to the restaurant. She's like, no, that's what you're going to do. So that's what I did. So that's about who I am and why I became a realtor, is I really wanted to affect people. The biggest motivation I have right now is I can't wait to hand somebody the keys to their first house. I can't wait to feel that. I really can't. So I'm really excited to do that. Before we go on, I'm going to wait, where was I? I lost track. I have it all written down, so I don't say a lot. So anyway, okay, so that's why I became a realtor. It's not always about money. It's just about the way I wanted to impact people's lives. How do you become a realtor and what it takes? Okay, so to become a realtor, the first thing you need to understand is it's easy to start into it, but you need to understand that there's a lot of hoops to jump through. You have to take a class. In Oregon, you have to do 150 hours of class. Whether it's online or whether it's live in a classroom, the course I took was both. Most courses are online, and very few offer both. But if I'm going to learn something, I need for my brain to wrap around it. I need to have the context at which it was learned, so that's why I took both. I do recommend that for the majority of people. It doesn't mean you have to. My course was great. I learned a lot. Because of that course, I was able to pass my exam, which was hard, on my first shot, which the attrition rate, I think, is right around 45%. People pass it on their first shot. So I'm not bragging, but yeah, because of that class, I learned to do that. And the thing you need to realize is that's just the beginning. Okay, in Oregon, you don't actually have your license till you meet certain qualifications. One, you complete the class. Two, you take the test. Then you have to do a fingerprint check by the state, and you have to pass a background check also by the state, criminal background check. Okay, when you do all of those things, now you're allowed to go and find a principal broker to work under. A principal broker is somebody who's been a realtor, or a real estate agent, sorry, not a realtor, a real estate agent for at least 3 years and has taken more courses and learned more in-depth and advanced practices to get their principal broker license. In the state of Oregon, you cannot work as a real estate agent unless you're working under a principal broker or you are a principal broker and you have your own brokerage. So you don't even get your license until that happens. I went with RE/MAX because I got along with the principal broker here and I really enjoyed it. So that's why I'm here at RE/MAX. Now, costs. There were so many surprise costs that I wish I'd have known about. Not that it would have turned me off doing it, but I wish I could have been more prepared. Luckily, Megan was amazing, so we got through it. But there are some expensive dues and fees that you have to pay. Those lock boxes that go on houses when you go look at a house, you can only get those from one place, and they're about $100 a piece. In order to get on what here is called RMLS, which stands for Regional Multi-Listing Service. In other parts of the country and state, it's called something else, but it's basically a multi-listing service. You have to pay the dues for that. And then to call yourself a realtor, an actual realtor, that is a trademark name by the National Association of Realtors. So unless you pay dues to them as part of they're basically, they offer so much for the money. I'm not knocking them, but you have to pay dues to them to actually call yourself a realtor. That's the way it works. To become part of their association, you pay the dues. That's how you become a realtor. If you're not a realtor, you're just a real estate agent or a real estate broker. You're not a realtor. So then we had those fees come up. Some places you have to pay your office fee. Some places you have to pay for a floor fee. You have to pay phone fee. There's just a lot of fees to get you started. You're investing in your business because while I work under my principal broker here at RE/MAX, I don't work for RE/MAX. I am what's called a 1099 contract employee. Therefore, they don't actually pay me. I pay them to work here. I get a lot for what I pay them, so I'm not complaining about that. But and then I split my earnings with them, so they get a percentage of my earnings, and that's how everybody, Keller Williams, General Scott, RE/MAX, that's how they make their money. So it's worth it to me because the wealth of knowledge that I'm getting from here, the tools that I have access to, it's just so worth it, and it's been a wonderful journey so far. But just understand that you are starting your own business, so you're going to have to invest significant amounts of money. My class was $600. My fingerprints and background check was $75, and my test was 75. My background check and fingerprints were $50. Okay, and then my various dues and everything came out to about $1,200 on top of that. And then I had a couple other expenses here and there, buying equipment and stuff like that I needed. So yeah, it's a significant, for most people, it's a significant investment. So that's how I became a realtor. So far, I haven't sold a home yet, and I haven't had my own listing yet, but it's been worth it so far. So now on to some myths. I have a few of them here. This one, I actually believed until I learned. This one is selling a home for sale by owner saves a lot of money. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. We, as a realtor, we get paid. Our earnings come from a percentage of the sale. Now, there's no set percentage. Somebody believes, oh, there's a standard percentage, everybody charges 6% or 5% or whatever. There's not. It's all negotiable. But the main reason people believe that selling their home on their own is because they don't have to pay the commission, essentially. But here's the thing. If you're selling the home on your own, it doesn't get put into an MLS. If you put it on Zillow, you just put it on Zillow. It's only on Zillow. It's also only on whatever else internet thing you have. Two, unless you're paying for it, you don't get professional photos. You're not getting your house staged. You don't have somebody out there pounding the pavement trying to get your house sold for you. But here's the big thing. You don't have an advocate fighting for you, well, not fighting is not the word, but negotiating for you against a real estate broker that is buying the house for the buyer. They know what they're doing. They're trained to do that. I am trained to sell or buy a home. So most likely, one, it's going to take you a lot longer to sell your house if you don't have a real estate agent advocating for you. Two, most likely the transaction is going to be mishandled because there's hundreds of steps and hundreds of pieces of paper to go through to even sell or buy a house, no matter whether you're buying it or selling it yourself. And if you don't understand every line of that paper or what's going on or what's happening, you're going to lose some money. Most likely, if you're selling your house yourself and it's for sale by owner, you're going to lose a significant amount of money. Get a realtor, have somebody advocate for you. It's just absolutely the best way to go. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a realtor. I'm saying it because it's true. All the marketing that goes into selling a home is paid for by the listing agent. The signs, we pay for those. Professional photographers pay for that. Staging, we pay for that. That all comes out of our pocket. That's part of the service we provide for you. If you're just trying to sell the house on your own, you're not getting all that. You're going to be paying for all that. And trust me, you're not going to recoup that expense, especially if you don't know how to do a comparative market analysis to figure out what's a fair price for your house because you're sentimental about your home, which you should be. But that probably means you're not going to do a fair market value of your home. Real estate agents say and do anything to make a sale. That is absolutely not true. In any way, shape, or form, I will not say or do anything to make a sale. I won't. I will always be honest. I will always be friendly. I will always be forthcoming because, well, I want you, when you talk about me to people, to say that he was honest, he was forthcoming, he worked really hard to take care of me, he was truly my advocate. Real estate agents that are deceitful or lying or doing literally anything to make the sale, they're not going to last very long because they're not going to get the referrals from people. They're just not going to get them. So if you're dealing with a real estate agent who you don't trust, find a new one. It's that easy. Because you should be able to trust your real estate agent. You're giving them a piece of your life. It's not like a car that you change out every few years. This is what used to be your home or what's going to be your home. Make sure it's somebody you trust. There's just no flip side to that coin. All right, and then all real estate agents make boatloads of money. Okay, here's the deal. Yes, real estate agents can make a good living. They can. I got to tell you, I've been a real estate agent for a month. You know how much I've made? Negative thousands of dollars because I haven't had a sale yet. And then when I do have a sale, part of my earnings are going to go to the brokerage. Part of my earnings are going to go back into a fund so when I get a listing, I can pay for a professional photographer. I can pay for, marketing material. I can pay for, fees and stuff like that. So there's a cost to doing this business. And so, if you're not making money, you're literally losing money. Like it's just bleeding out of you. So yes, we can make a good living. Everybody thinks that the commission is what a listing agent gets. Like listing agent comes up and says, okay, you guys negotiated that you're going to sell the house and he's going to get 6% earnings. Okay. Well, he's not getting that 6%. One, he's got to split it with the other agent, the buyer's agent. So there's probably close to half of it's gone right there. And then all of the cost of the professional photographer, market material, all that other stuff also So it's our best interest to do the best we can for you. But we're out there, we're working day and night, all the time. Successful real estate agents, very successful real estate agents, what you don't see is the amount of time and effort and money they've put into becoming to that level. These are people who've probably had weeks where they got 4 or 5 hours sleep, who've gone months without sales, and they've just struggled. These are people who have made mistakes that cost them money, probably significant amounts of money. That's all a learning process. It takes time to build that. Just like every other business, it takes time to build. So those are a few myths. Those are how I became a real estate agent, why I became a real estate agent. I have decided to put some links to some resources. One of the resources is hownorthwest.com. It is a resource for people who are buying and selling their homes. There's a lot of great information on there. There's something from the Portland Metro Association of Realtors that I'm putting in there. It's called Why Use a Realtor, which explains the strengths for that. There's something else I put in there because people view realtors a lot of the same way. We're just salesmen. We're just trying to make the buck. Well, you need to understand, to become a realtor, we have a very strict code of ethics. I'm putting a link there so you can see what that code of ethics is. It's incredibly intense, and we have to follow it. There are repercussions if we don't. I went anyway. I also am putting the Oregon.gov real estate link up there for those of you that are interested, that might want to become a realtor, that might want to think what's involved. And then I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link up there a little bit later. I'm going to try to upload this video to YouTube so everybody can see it. So anyway, so I want to thank you. This video went a little bit longer than I thought, but thank you for tuning in today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And once again, I want to explain that this was my experience becoming a realtor, not anybody else's. So, keep that in mind, but I will definitely answer the questions to the best of my ability for you. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. I hope everybody enjoys Super Bowl weekend. Go Chiefs. I'm making it very clear. Yes, go Chiefs. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.